Hey, I just wanted to make a quick little video just to show you where to find information or what you should be looking for. So when my students log in, the first thing that I want them to do, it should take you to this page, which is the course homepage. And the very first thing I want you to do is to go to the news feed right here. And this is essentially the schedule that we're working with. So I know that today I have a discussion and that I should be working on these next assignments. So there's a number of things that you could do. The very first thing that I would do is record what you should be working on. So Unit 1, Activity 3. The other thing that I want you to check on this page is when due dates are, right? Remembering that all of these blue dots means that something was due, and you can actually click on dates that have passed and it'll bring up the assignment. I also wanted to remind you that not only is this calendar to show you what assignments are due, but you can actually click on this and it will give you an example of what that was supposed to be. So what I've done is I've copied and pasted the information from the content and I've put it in the Dropbox so that you can understand what it is. Now, the challenge with this is a discussion, and I know that because it's called a discussion here, but it's also got this little chat box there. And so that's a discussion and not an assignment. And they have availability. And when that closes, you can't post anymore. So that brings a new set of challenges when you miss a discussion, is because that you need to email me because you can't post those anymore, but I'll still evaluate it and give you partial credit for having shown me what you think about what the prompt was or what you're supposed to be writing about. So just a reminder about the course home and how important it is so that you know what you're supposed to be working on and can also see what specifically the assignments were. So let's think about looking ahead. Okay, so today this is due, and tomorrow this assignment is due, illustrating language. And I know that there is some information up here that I can read through and understand what this is all about. But the other thing that I can do is I can go to Unit 1, Activity 3 information to look at what this is all about. So once I know what I'm supposed to be working on, I'm going to go to Content. So I need Unit 1, Activity 3. So in Content, you can click right here, and then we're going to scroll down to Unit 1, Activity 3. We're going to click on that. It's a lot of clicking in order to get there. The content is like your textbook, and it has all of the assignments outlined. So going back here, just to remind you, what we're looking for is something called illustrating language. Okay, so there's some instructions here, but we'll get back to that. What we should do is read through all the content. We're going to make notes and participate in these activities because in some of these are the other discussion pieces and other concepts. So here is a quote from Kim Krizan, as well as here. And this discussion right here, the power of language, uses that information, and you're supposed to respond to that prompt. So you could enter the discussion here, given the information is all right here. Sometimes students just try and use the Dropbox information, and I'm going to tell you there's not enough information there. You have to use the content. Enrichment just means that you could watch this video. There's nothing necessarily connected to it, but it certainly gives you more information about what we're talking about. Here's a lot of information about literal and figurative language. And so we have some definitions. We could make some notes on this in our personal notebooks, just so that we remember some of this information. Literal information, figurative imagery, and then there's even some activities, drag and drop. So synonyms from the word that match lethargic. Lethargic is like being really slow, lackadaisical, and languid. Submit. And I'm right, so I can carry on to the next words. So I can play with words, which is what this whole unit is all about. So there's activities here, and we're coming down. Now, remember, we're looking for something about literary devices. So we're getting there. Ethos, pathos, logos, all of this information is really important. Here is some information about speeches and language. We're scrolling down. There's lots more information. Here it is. So in the content, you also have all the background information like a textbook, and then you have an explanation of the full assignment. So those drop boxes that I showed you over here, where they're attached to the calendar, and when you click on those things, right, that it gives you a description, just so you know what you're responding to and it's the right one. The other thing you could do is click on the discussions and it will say the same thing. It's just a number of different ways to get into it. But if I can emphasize anything, it's that you need to read through that content. So it gives us all the background information, and then it tells us this information. Now, sometimes there's more parts that you need to have. So say, for example, it says you're going to do, here's what you're going to do. You're going to develop a single slide poster. So you're just going to put in a document these 3 things. And you will have been assigned, your teacher will assign you a set number of literary and rhetorical devices. I've assigned each student one. So where do you find that? We're going to go back to that course homepage. And when there's like, you're going to be assigned this or you're in groups, I put all of that right in here. Okay, so let's read through this assignment. You're going to write about a literary device. You're going to research it, give a definition, an example, and a picture to connect to it in a document. And then I also take an extra step. You're actually going to put it in a slideshow so that everybody can see it. And we're sort of working together to piece together what literary devices are. So how do you know which one I've assigned for you? Here is the link to assign devices. I put everything into Google Docs and make it shareable. So you're going to go through here. You're going to look up your name, what number you're attached to, and here is your literary and rhetorical device. So sometimes in some of these assignments that you go through content, that there's extra pieces that you need to figure out all the parts to it, and it's a lot of clicking in and out of stuff, but that's the general gist of how to navigate the course. The very first thing you want to do is go onto the course homepage, check what you're supposed to be working on, look at the calendar, go to content, whatever content it says. So if it says U1A3 or U1A4, that's Unit 1, Activity 4. So again, going back to that content, clicking on this, U1A4 is the next one. And then it's going to show you the information again. It has all the background information. It has all the activities, and then it also lists all of the discussions. You have links right in the content. There's the discussions, and you can enter the discussion right there. Enrichment is just extra resources. And then you've got Writer's Notebook is also the notebook that you're keeping just with your ideas or brainstorming or whatever it might be. So there again, save to your Writer's Notebook. There's no actual Dropbox. It's just your own ongoing document. And then we've got an assignment here. We've got a discussion, and then there's going to be another little assignment here at the bottom, a character sketch. Okay, and the Dropbox is right there. It outlines all of this, and all of this information up top is going to tell you all the information you need to be able to do that assignment. I know that's probably still confusing. I hope that you heard or saw something that you think is a little bit helpful in terms of navigating the course. Definitely be checking for due dates, but the content, that's the key to knowing and understanding what it is you're supposed to be doing, because it gives you the background information to be able to complete the assignments.